big brake kit. It's the Brembo kit for the front. About to install and get it ready for the Audi TT. And this is my rear brake kit. Forge. And that's ready to go. Okay, let me show you what we have here. This is my big boy brake kit for the Audi TT Monster that we're getting together, me and my brother. All right, I went with Brembo for the front. Man, big ass calibers, man. Oh man, these are some monsters. Sweet. Brembo, they sweet. They came with instructions and everything. I'm happy about that. Lines. Well, so that we see in my rear, I went with forged. There we go. Sweet too as well, man. Oh man, this is a beauty. It's time to get this bad boy in the car. They come with everything but instructions. No instructions come with forge. Have to see about that, but we get it done. I had this brake kit for about almost 3 years now. Yeah, God damn, it's time to put in the Audi TT and get this beast on the road.
Just got in from work. Teddy's got the brakes all laid out. Got the Brembos for the front and the forge for the rear. Both are 4-piston, so these should definitely stop a lot better than the factory. The rear brakes, these 2-piece rotors are nice. They're very lightweight compared to the factory. It's a pretty nice piece. Back outside again, about to play with the TT. Today's objective is to get in the wheel studs. So I bought some performance aftermarket studs because with the power that we're projecting to make, we do not want to shear off any bolts on a sticky track with a hard launch. Now, of course, as we know, the 3.6 VR6 engine, as well as the average VR6 engine, has quite a bit of torque. So a lot more than the 4 and 5 cylinder counterparts. So with that extra torque, there's going to be an increased risk at damaging components, transmissions, axles, drivetrain components, so all the likes. So this is the pathway to slowly start progressively replacing any parts that we know that may shear off a brake, as well as build up aftermarket parts on this car to make it stronger and more reliable and competitive.
Big bro, getting it in. Definitely prepping for the brake kit. Bro, getting installed. Stronger, button up bolts. And shear off in the truck. That's what we're working with. Coming along. Out here grinding. Getting it ready. The harder bolt. Install.
We have the driver's side complete for the most part with the studs in here. These things are looking good with these big boy Brembos. So these are nice. Let's get started on the passenger side. The best way to press these studs in here is with the whole bearing assembly off, and we don't have that. So what I did on the driver's side, I actually added a little notch right here, so that way when I clock this around, I have room to slide this through and run it right through the original bolt hole. So I drill these out a little bit larger, and then you can see these have a splined edge. I'll tap this into position. So I'll show you just what I did on the driver's side, just for a reference, and show and tell. So you can see right there, nice little notch. Didn't take it back too far, right before the structural support. So you can see how the structural support bevels around right here. So I just took a little bit off of this lip, and that gave me enough clearance just to feed a bolt right through. And I just rotated each one around until I can feed it through, put a nut on it, and tighten it up so that way it can draw the splines into place. So we're going to do the same thing on the passenger side. I have all the bolt holes drilled out. As you can see, this is where I notched it out. Put the bolt right through and run a nut on it and press it into position. So you got to make sure you don't drill these out too big. You want the proper size diameter so that all these splines can grab right into the housing of this hub.
So the brakes came at it, coming along. Ready? Nuts on them. Oh, it's early. 5 in the afternoon. Bro, getting at it, knocking them out all the way around. Can't wait till that monster on the road.
Ran across a slight issue with the TT. We are installing the studs for the wheels. Have all of them installed except for the rear driver's side. We got 3 of them. Went to rotate the hub around, and for some reason this bad boy is locked up, which is not good. So the car is in neutral. All 4 wheels, well, the car is completely up in the air, no wheels on it. And this will not rotate at all. It is completely seized up. So I'm gonna have to do some researching. But over to the passenger side, you can rotate this and spin it around. But driver's side is seized up. So we will have to do some deep diving to see what is causing our issue. There's some good news. So I'll loosen up the bolts in the back. Let's see if I can get a good look in there. So as you can see, I have the whole dry shaft loose completely, and it's not spinning. Got this one here, on, off. But either way, it should rotate, whether I'm turning it on or off. And this bad boy is seized up. So that's good. Meaning, I'd rather for something to be seized up in here than back there in the rear diff. So this is great news. We can swap this out, put a new bearing, which they were new bearings, they wasn't used. What I'm suspecting is these are racing axles that we have custom made. Maybe the housing or something is a little large, so once it seated itself, it was torqued down in here, it may have bound in and wedged itself somehow in this housing. So we may have to go in and maybe clearance the inside diameter a little bit just so that this can rotate without being seized up into position. That is a great thing. I did not want to have to backtrack and take this whole subframe back down just to get out the rear diff, because my thoughts were, if I'm going to do that, then I'm putting in the new limited slip diff that just came out this year that was released for this. So either way, we're going to put a new rear limited slip diff when that time comes. But if I had to go in here and tear all that apart, I was going to do it then. So we can just focus on this, which is a lot easier. That is great news.
Big bro getting it in.
Be careful not to lose this washer. This washer goes in between this torque arm and the hub assembly. See it right there. So do not lose that washer. Remove my axle assembly, and apparently this is what we have. This is all seized up together. Thank goodness it appears the differential still is good to go. So what may have happened when this axle nut itself was tightened down, looked like it may have compressed this whole housing and pulled the bearing flange itself up against the race housing right here. So that is pretty snug. There's no gap in between here. There should be a gap so that this can rotate. So apparently that drew this whole assembly up very tight to the point where everything is wedged up and seized in position. Now for whatever reason, it did not do that on the passenger side, because that still rotates pretty freely. But on this driver's side, this has been tightened up and compressed up against this housing. So the thing is, take this axle out, remove my nut, take this out, and see what's going on and what caused that to seize up and pull this in real tight, and to resolve the issue. Separated the axle from the hub assembly, and you can see right here where the paint mark was actually pressed off from this being compressed in here. So apparently this casting right here needs to be ground down. When this all was compressed in here, you can see how shiny the bearing is on the inside. Everything looks brand new. No rust penetration or anything got to it in this thing. It's been sitting out there for a while. Not that it should have, but it sealed everything up so tight. We have to grind this whole lip up a little bit just to open up the housing, and that way that'll give this clearance so that this can spin freely like it should. And then I can go ahead and press these other last two studs in there and be done with that. And then we'll have all four corners finished. We should be good to go. Cleaned up the inside of the hub assembly, and I can fit my axle back in position, rotate everything around, and we have great clearance. So I'll go ahead and bolt everything back up. So last time this was done, it was last year out in probably 20-degree weather, freezing cold, and once I torqued the bolts down when it got, I guess, springtime, it must have seized everything up in position. I thought I was good to go, but I've encountered this problem before with aftermarket axles and the casting being a little large and the tolerances being tight. But either way, learning lesson again, and next time, especially when I get to my TT, I will double check so I don't have to go through this again. I like to complete a task instead of backtracking.
Got the two-piece disc about to install Ford setup on this piece right here. Got Big Bro in there getting the fab together. Getting the fab together. He's coming along. For that monster right there. Yep. You good with the measurements, bro? What'd you look?
Yeah, they look good.
Mm-hmm.
Easy,
Yep.
1.5 clearance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Perfect. Oh yeah, looking good on it. Mm-hmm. What you think, bro?
Yeah, look good.
Mm-hmm.
Brake clearance good.
Mm-hmm.
Easy 1.5.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about those wheels contacting the calipers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice clearance.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah, as far as the bolts, yep, bolts is on driver's side, the passenger side. We got the rear. Got all this put back together. As you guys can see, we're just wrapping up for the night. All the studs in here, everything's back in place. Hung the brackets for the suspension travel. Got these big monster Brembos on the front. We'll need as much stopping power as possible to slow this monster down. And this thing gets to get in boost and start doing some serious accelerating times. Looking good, looking good. So, coming along.
Hell yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
He's coming along.
Hell yeah. Extremely hazardous work going on here out in the rain. This is hazardous. Do not try this at home. Teddy's out there getting the forge brakes on the rear. Getting it in. My bad boy's looking good. Trying to get them sorted out. We got the big Brembos in the front wrapped up in plastic. And I'm out here playing with this huge 4-inch elephant trunk. Check this out. This is huge. So in position, fits perfect, and just enough clearance, maybe 3/8 of an inch clearance from the backside, but either way, it'll work. Tight squeeze.
And Big Bro was getting it in the rain. Over there doing some fab. Just finished putting the big brake kit in. Just finished putting the big brake kit on. Looking good. Out here getting it in the rain. Big Bro getting the fab work done. You know, pouring out raining out here. And as you see, just finished putting the big brake kit on for the back, forward, big brake kit. Looking good, looking good. Of course, got the Brembos on the front covered up with plastic. Got the big brake kit. He's out here getting it in the rain. Got Big Bro.
Hazardous work.
Yep. Out here getting it in the rain. Looks good. Not at all. Yep, look good. Look good. Comes got the big Brembos in the front. You know? Yep. Good. Came out pretty good. Drive shaft axles, rear end looking good. Yep. Let's go.
Okay, as I said, this isn't for the faint at heart. It is raining. We was out here getting it in. Got these 4Gs on the rear. These bad boys looking tight, looking good. Teddy was knocking these out. Knocked out the driver's side, the passenger side. I was up front fabricating the J-pipe for the intake manifold. Got that cut up. Got the oil filter bracket. Got that situated. So we made some good progress out here in the rain.
Yep. Rain all day.
Raining all day out here getting it in. Got to make some big numbers with this boy. Trying to bring this to you guys so y'all can see a monster on the road.
Sure.